And the astrophysicist, Professor Tim O'Brien, joins us now. Well, I can see from all of the pictures we've been sent over the last couple of days, it was spectacular. But why particularly so at the moment?
Because the sun's at a peak in its activity. So the sun has this sort of cycle of activity. Every 11 years it goes through this peak of, outbursts and flares and explosions and sunspots and so on. So we're just approaching the peak now. So what happens is it spins and it winds its magnetic field up, and it gets more and more tense over the 11 years, and eventually it snaps, and this stuff sort of breaks free and it heads towards Earth. And when these particles that it chucks out hit the Earth, they crash into the sort of magnetic shield we have, and they sort of eat away at that magnetic shield, and these particles can then flood in and get right down into the upper atmosphere. And when they hit the particles in the atmosphere, those particles glow. So the oxygen, the nitrogen in the atmosphere glow these beautiful colours. So it's a really incredible sight, awe-inspiring sight.
And is it different gases create different colours?
Exactly, yeah. So different gases create different colours at different altitudes. So you're looking at sometimes the greens are typically oxygen, the reds are typically nitrogen, but it actually depends on what altitude they are above you. So when you're looking up at these things, as I was on Friday night, you see these things going up in the sky, and they're going hundreds of kilometres above your head. Yeah, that's one of my photos.
So where were you, Tim? Where'd you take that?
I thought I'd missed out because we were away for the weekend down near Cheltenham, so I'd gone south from Manchester where I live. And I thought, because normally it's better towards the north.
Yeah.
And I knew it was likely to happen. I thought, I've missed out now. But no, it was absolutely amazing. Never seen anything like it. And we were all sitting outside watching this till the early hours. So a really beautiful sight. I mean, you can see these rays going up. They're like almost going up vertically above your head. So the green's at the lowest level and the reds are much higher, hundreds of kilometres up out into space, pretty much. So, yeah, beautiful, beautiful sight.
Great pictures.
I was just going to say, the photos are incredible. How do the photographs compare to actually seeing it in real life?
So when in real life, if you first step out and look up, what you'd see is a sort of grey colour. So you'd see this greyness on the sky. What would draw your eye as being weird is when you see these rays, so these sharp-edged things, you think, well, it's not like light cloud. But as your eyes get used to the dark, the colours start to come through to the eye. So you could see the reds and greens. Cameras definitely pick it up more strongly. So if you're not sure, which I wasn't on the Friday night early on, I was taking pictures just with your camera phone. Cameras on phones are really good. Take a picture and look at it and you say, there's greens and reds in it. To the eye, it might be looking grey and you're thinking, it's coming. And then sure enough, about 11 p.m. or so, whack, it started coming in, really, really spectacular.
See, I'm kicking myself because, I was seeing on social media friends, people who live near me in Bristol saying that they could see it. And I went outside, looked up, couldn't see anything and went back to bed.
But if I need to give it a chance.
Right, OK, so your eyes need to adjust.
Your eyes need, particularly, the farther north you go, usually the brighter it'll be. Depends how close you are to city lights as well. But yeah, if you went out about that time, it definitely would have been there, because I was near there. I was down towards Bristol.
Wish I'd been with you, Tim.
And I wish you were there too. But it was a good evening. But it was all over the sky. So it was like you could look directly south, and there was aurora right down to the southern horizon from the south of England. So it was right down in, across the whole of Northern Europe. It was
because there were people in Cornwall seeing it, and far over in the eastern England.
Can you have a Northern Lights forecast, like a weather forecast? Can you say to us, right, it's going to be a really good night on Wednesday, stay up and watch? How easy is it to predict?
So we knew this thing was coming, right? And if people sort of do a web search for space weather, the Met Office actually has a space weather forecast these days. So you can get alerts. There's a lovely thing called Aurora Watch UK that Lancaster University do that gives you alerts in real time. But we know, because these things are generated by outbursts from the sun, we know those things happen, and then they typically take a few days to reach us. So we knew there'd been a whole bunch of these ejections from the sun earlier in the week, and they were predicted to arrive on Friday night. So we were sort of ready and waiting. It doesn't guarantee it. This was the strongest one for 20 years. So it was a good one. And that's why we could see it from so far south. Normally, you have to go a bit farther north. And people listening in Scotland will be saying, "Oh, we see these things."
Yeah, exactly.
But for us poor English people in the south, then yeah, it's a remarkable experience. We might get to see it again because we're just coming up to the peak, so there'll undoubtedly be more of these ejections. So if you missed it, I mean, well, we can't predict them. Like, I can't say it'll be next week, it'll be the week after, but they'll be coming and going now for months and months, for the next 6 months. So keep your eye on those forecasts.
I'll get it next time. Tim, thank you very much indeed. It's coming up.